Today we start with the fourth factor of production. We have already done the three factors of production, that is land, labor, physical capital. Now the fourth factor of production, that is human capital or the entrepreneur, or I can write here entrepreneurship, that is the process. So how do we define, what do we mean by human capital? We can say an economic agent who perceives the market opportunities and assembles the factor of production to exploit them in a firm. Exploit here we mean the term use. For this, a person requires knowledge, skill to be able to put together land, labor and physical capital and produce an output either to use for his own personal self or to sell in the market. So I can write here, how do we define human capital? It is an economic agent who perceives market opportunities and assembles the factor of production to exploit them in a firm. Now students, remember here, exploit here doesn't mean the social exploitation as we study in history, that is the exploitation of the weaker sections of the society. Here the exploit means to use. So an economic agent who perceives the market opportunities and assembles the factor of production to exploit them in a firm. It is very clear that alone land cannot yield any production or labor cannot alone yield any type of productive activity. What is required to enhance the productive activity in any countries, that we have to put together all the factors of production, that is land, labor, physical capital and human capital, and then we can have some kind of product. For example, presently you are in 9th class. If I ask you to manage an industry making chairs, would you be able to produce or would you be able to have a well efficiency in the production of chairs? It is not so, because presently you won't be able to manage this task. What is required is that you should have the skill to put together all the factors of production. For making chairs, you require wood, then you have to get them to the industrial unit, and then you have to have them make the handles, and you have to make the seat. For this, you require some kind of technological skill, educational skill, so that you would be able to manage well all the factors of production. For example, you require raw material. Here it is wood. Then you should have a good source of transportation which can get the wood to the industrial unit. In the industry you need machines, so you should be able to aware about the source from where you can get the machines. Then you require laborers, because you yourself alone cannot run all the machines. So you require laborers to run the machines and to process wood finally into the chairs. So this is what we mean by human capital, an economic agent who perceives market opportunities and assembles a factor of production to exploit them in a firm. Here we are saying an economic agent who perceives the market opportunities. For example, see the case of present day, we are studying the higher prices of onion. As an economic agent, I know that today the prices of onion are less, but it is a possibility that tomorrow the prices may increase by 30 rupees per kg. So what will I do? I'll purchase the onion from the market as a wholesale agent. I'll put all the onion in my godowns and I will wait to sell it till tomorrow, because tomorrow the prices may increase. At that time, I will be able to earn higher profit, because I am not selling it at a lower price today, but I am keeping it in the godowns to sell it at a higher price tomorrow. So now, what is required to have the good facility, or what is required for human capital? For this, a person requires knowledge, skill and to be able to put together land, labor and physical capital and produce an output either to use for his own self or to sell in the market. This was about the factors of production. Now we come to that, again you have been given in the NCERT about the farming in Palanpur. This is actually just a hypothetical example. We have to study it from the economic point or the total point, taking in consideration the requirements of the whole country. For this we will study first one question, that is there any way or is there a way one can grow more than one crop from the same land? I am writing here, is there a way one can grow more from the same field? Here we are referring it in reference to the agriculture production. So the answer that comes into our mind is there are two ways. So now there are two methods by which one can grow more than from the same field. One is the case of multiple cropping and another is the use of advanced technology. Here I am referring it to as, in nutshell, that is green revolution. So first we are defining what is multiple cropping. Multiple cropping I can define in simple words That is the method to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year. That is on the piece of same land. So I can write here to grow more than one crop on a piece of land, or I can write here on the same piece of land. This is how we define multiple cropping. Don't get confused with multiple cropping and mixed farming. Mixed farming, though we are not referring here, but you should know what is mixed farming. Mixed farming you might have studied in 8th class, that is rearing of the animals plus the cultivation of crops. Mixed farming and multiple cropping, they are two different terms. In multiple cropping, we are growing more than one crop on the same piece of land during the year. Here we are not referring any case of rearing of animals. But in the case of mixed farming, it refers to the cultivation of crops along with the rearing of animals. So now how is multiple cropping practiced? Or you have studied about two types of crops basically. One is the Kharif crop and one is the Rabi crop. Kharif crop is, for example, rice. An example of Rabi crop is wheat. There are other examples, but these are the two prominent examples we use. Kharif crop, it is sown in the rainy season, and Rabi crop, it is also known as the winter crop because this crop is sown in the winter season. In between these two, that is in the months between October and December, generally the farmers, they sow, or it is followed by the cultivation of potato. This shows that on the same crop, on the same piece of land, in the rainy season, the farmers can sow rice, and in the winter season, they can sow wheat, and in between these two, they can have a good yield of potato. So now what is the foremost requirement for multiple cropping to be possible? Since we are growing more than one type of crop, on the same piece of land, that means abundant supply of water is required, which we refer to as the availability of irrigational facilities. So now in 9th class, you are generally asked the question that how the availability of irrigation facilities have changed the life of the people of Palanpur. In a nutshell, the answer would be that irrigation facilities had made possible the process of multiple cropping, and as such it has enhanced the total production of the food grains. So it has brought about a change in the income of the farmers, and somehow it has brought about a system of self-sufficiency. Now apart from the irrigation facilities, for having abundant irrigation facilities, every time we cannot depend on the vagaries of monsoon. You all might have heard about the tube wells. But what is required for operating tube wells? Electricity. That means electricity has enhanced the availability of irrigation facilities in the village Palanpur, which has led to multiple cropping, and finally it has enhanced the food grain production. So this is the case we are referring here to Palanpur. But you should understand that the hidden concept is it is for the whole Indian economy, because here we are referring to the Indian economy only, that with the supply, with the electricity facilities, people in UP, Punjab, Haryana, which have the good facilities of tube wells, they are able to bring about the system of multiple cropping. Now most important here we come to the concept of Green Revolution. Green Revolution, it can be defined as modern agriculture technology, the seed fertilizer, water technology, or simply the Green Revolution. I can write here Green Revolution is a modern agricultural technology. It is sometimes also referred to as seed, fertilizer, water technology, that is Green Revolution. I'll come to this point why it is known as seed, fertilizer, water technology, because these are basically the inputs required or the inputs to be stressed when we are studying the case of Green Revolution. Now how did the concept of Green Revolution came into being, or how it is different from the traditional agricultural practices? In the traditional agricultural practices, or we can say that traditional agriculture, it relies heavily on indigenous inputs such as the use of organic manures, seeds, simple plows and other primitive agriculture tools, bullock carts, bullocks, etc. And the modern technology which here we are referring to as Green Revolution, it consists of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, improved varieties of seeds including hybrid seeds, agricultural machinery, extensive irrigation, use of diesel and electric power. So we will differentiate here between the traditional agriculture and modern agriculture. What are the things we use in the traditional agriculture? Here we are using organic manures, seeds, simple plows, other primitive tools, that is the primitive agricultural tools. On the other hand, in modern agriculture, we are using chemical fertilizers, pesticides, improved varieties of seeds including the hybrid seeds, agricultural machinery, for example tractors, threshers. We are also using the extensive irrigation, and we are also using diesel and electric power. So you would be able to now to make a comparison between the traditional agriculture and the modern agriculture practice. In traditional agriculture, we are using organic manures. In modern agriculture, we are using chemical fertilizers, pesticides. In traditional agriculture, we are using seeds. In case of modern agriculture, we are using hybrid seeds. Hybrid seeds are specifically prepared. Here we are using simple plows, and in this case we are using the agriculture machinery. Other this, in traditional agriculture we are using primitive agriculture tools and bullocks also, and in modern agriculture we are using extensive irrigation facilities with the help of electricity, and we are also using the diesel and electric power.